Good morning. This is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess, bringing you day 157 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation, where we use female words. This would be June 6th if you're starting at the new year. The two worlds. You have been told to bring the darkness to the light and guilt to holiness. And you have also been told that error must be corrected at its source. Therefore, it is the tiny part of yourself, the little thought that seems split off and separate, the Holy Spirit needs. The rest is fully in God's keeping and needs no guide. Yet, this wild and delusional thought needs help because, in its delusions, it thinks it is the child of God, whole and omnipotent, sole ruler of the realm it set apart to tyrannize by madness into obedience and slavery. This is the little part you think you stole from heaven. Give it back to heaven. Heaven has not lost it, but you have lost sight of heaven. Let the Holy Spirit remove it from the withered realm in which you set it off, surrounded by darkness, guarded by attack and reinforced by hate. Within its barricades is still a tiny segment of the child of God, complete and holy, serene and unaware of what you think surrounds it. Be you not separate, for the one who does surround it has brought union to you, returning your little offering of darkness to the eternal light. How is this done? It is extremely simple, being based on what this little realm really is. The barren sands, the darkness, and the lifelessness are seen only through the body's eyes. Its bleak sight is distorted, and the messages it transmits to you who made it to limit your awareness are little and limited, and so fragmented they are meaningless. From the world of bodies made by insanity, insane messages seem to be returned to the mind that made it. And these messages bear witness to this world, pronouncing it as true. For you set forth these messengers to bring this back to you. Everything these messages relay to you is quite external. There are no messages that speak of what lies underneath, for it is not the body that could speak of this. Its eyes perceive it not. Its senses remain quite unaware of it. Its tongue cannot relay its messages. Yet God can bring you there if you are willing to follow the Holy Spirit through seeming terror, trusting her not to abandon you and leave you there. For it is not her purpose to frighten you, but only yours. You are severely tempted to abandon her at the outside ring of fear, but she would lead you safely through and far beyond. The circle of fear lies just below the level the body sees, and seems to be the whole foundation on which the world is based. Here are all the illusions, all the twisted thoughts, all the insane attacks, the fury, the vengeance, and betrayal that were made to keep the guilt in place so that the world could rise from it and keep it hidden. Its shadow rises to the surface, enough to hold its most external manifestations in darkness, and to bring despair and loneliness to it, and keep it joyless. Yet, its intensity is veiled by its heavy coverings, and kept apart from what was made to keep it hidden. The body cannot see this, for the body arose from this, for its protection, which depends on keeping it not seen. The body's eyes will never look on it, yet they will see what it dictates. The body will remain guilt's messenger, and will act as it directs as long as you believe that guilt is real, for the reality of guilt is the illusion that seems to make it heavy and opaque, impenetrable, and a real foundation for the ego's thought system. Its thinness and transparency are not apparent until you see the light behind it, and then you see it as a fragile veil before the light. This heavy-seeming barrier, this artificial floor that looks like rock, is like a bank of low dark clouds that seem to be a solid wall before the sun. Its impenetrable appearance is wholly an illusion. It gives way softly to the mountain tops that rise above it, and has no power at all to hold back anyone willing to climb above it and see the sun. It is not strong enough to stop a button's fall, nor hold a feather. Nothing can rest upon it, for it is but an illusion of a foundation. Try but to touch it, and it disappears. Attempt to grasp it, and your hands hold nothing. Yet in this cloud bank it is easy to see a whole world rising. A solid mountain range, a lake, a city, all rise in your imagination. And from the clouds the messengers of your perception return to you, assuring you that it is there. Figures stand out and move about, actions seem real, and forms appear and shift from loveliness to the grotesque, and back and forth they go as long as you would play the game of children's make-believe. Yet however long you play it, and regardless of how much imagination you bring to it, you do not confuse it with the world below, nor seek to make it real. So should it be with the dark clouds of guilt, no more impenetrable and no more substantial. You will not bruise yourself against them in traveling through. Let your guide teach you their unsubstantial nature as she leads you past them, for beneath them is a world of light, whereon they cast no shadows. Their shadows lie upon the world beyond them, still further from the light. Yet from them to the light their shadows cannot fall. This world of light, this circle of brightness, is the real world, where guilt meets with forgiveness. Here the world outside is seen anew, without the shadow of guilt upon it. Here are you forgiven, for here you have forgiven everyone. Here is the new perception, where everything is bright and shining with innocence, washed in the waters of forgiveness, and cleansed of every evil thought you laid upon it. Here there is no attack upon the child of God, and you are welcome. Here is your innocence waiting to clothe you and protect you and make you ready for the final step in the journey inward. Here are the dark and heavy garments of guilt laid by and gently replaced by purity and love. Yet even forgiveness is not the end. Forgiveness does make lovely, but it does not create. It is the source of healing, but it is the messenger of love and not its source. Here you are led that God herself can take the final step unhindered, for here does nothing interfere with love, letting it be itself. A step beyond this holy place of forgiveness, a step still further inward, but the one you cannot take, transports you to something completely different. Here is the source of light, nothing perceived, forgiven, nor transformed, but merely known. This course will lead to knowledge, but knowledge itself is still beyond the scope of our curriculum, nor is there any need for us to try to speak of what must forever lie beyond words. We need remember only that whoever attains the real world, beyond which learning cannot go, will go beyond it, but in a different way. Where learning ends, there God begins. For learning ends before her who is complete where she begins, and where there is no end. It is not for us to dwell on what cannot be attained. There is too much to learn. The readiness for knowledge still must be attained. Love is not learned. Its meaning lies within itself, and learning ends when you have recognized all it is not. That is the interference. That is what needs to be undone. Love is not learned, because there never was a time in which you knew it not. Learning is useless in the presence of your Creator, whose acknowledgement of you and yours of her so far transcend all learning that everything you learned is meaningless, replaced forever by the knowledge of love and its one meaning. Your relationship with your sisters has been uprooted from the world of shadows, and its unholy purpose has been safely brought through the barriers of guilt, washed with forgiveness, and set shining and firmly rooted in the world of light. From there it calls to you to follow the course it took, lifted high above the darkness and gently placed before the gates of heaven. The holy instant in which you and your sister were united is but the messenger of love, sent from beyond forgiveness to remind you of all that lies beyond it. Yet it is through forgiveness that it will be remembered. And when the memory of God has come to you in the holy place of forgiveness, you will remember nothing else. And memory will be as useless as learning, for your only purpose will be creating. Yet this you cannot know until every perception has been cleansed and purified and finally removed forever. Forgiveness removes only the untrue, lifting the shadows from the world and carrying it, safe and sure, within its gentleness, to the bright world of new and clean perception. There is your purpose now, and it is there that peace awaits you. We have before seen this description of the illusory world being over top, like in the description, in the allegory, it's being described as above the real world. And again, that's contrary-wise to some of these really deep perceptions that have been taught and believed by humanity. We have so long thought of underneath the crust of the earth as the underworld, the world of the dead, the world of shadows, a place of dark dreams, because it's a place the sunlight cannot reach. But in this, well, think about it. If the true source of light is from even beneath the real world, where the source of love is, where knowledge is, and it's shining up through the real world, which is slightly above, and then up further still, where the thick illusions begin, the dark illusions where there's lots of pain, and it describes it as seeming solid and a foundation you could walk on. That's how the body perceives it, because again, the body's like an avatar in a video game that is the illusion. But really, it's insubstantial, like a bank of clouds that you could go through as long as you willed to go through. But there is this barrier of intense fear that the fear itself, the fear layer, is beyond what the body can see. So I kind of think of that as being located in our unconscious mind, this unconscious fear that we don't understand and we don't want to lean into. And A Course in Miracles is inviting us to gently and repeatedly practice leaning into it and learning that there's no substance to it. It's as though there's a psychological barrier that keeps us in the illusion because we're so terrified to lean into that place that we'll go anywhere in the illusion, but we won't leave it and go into the real world, which is what I refer to as paradise. It speaks of how no shadows are cast from the illusory dark world onto the real world. That makes sense. If true light is radiating up from the source which is beneath even the real world, that's where heaven is, where there's only knowledge and not perception. If light is radiating up from that, through the real world, which is a type of form, still illusion, but it's forgiven and healed, ready for heaven, just waiting for the rest of creation to choose to join it of its own free will. So then you go up to the dark bank of clouds, where the illusion begins. It speaks of how it casts shadows out from there. So the further up you go, the deeper into darkness and illusions you go. So if you imagine going out into outer space and the cold darkness, the lifelessness, in this allegory, this image, it's like the true sun is at the core of the earth. And the deeper you sink into the earth, the more you're in a paradisiacal realm that still has form, but there's no pain in it. There's only love and sensibility, sanity, where people care for one another and they see their oneness. It's a beautiful allegory. It doesn't remotely resemble anything that we've been taught in this world, and it's interesting. It also speaks of the little part that we think we have stolen from heaven, and it says, give it back. And so this is my theory that what are we supposed to do with the ego? We're supposed to give it back to God. Every time it keeps trying to want to be separate, we just keep saying, nope, I'm going to give this back to God. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this energy that is experiencing this insanity, I'm just going to give it back to God, and God's going to heal it. All right. Lesson 157. Into her presence would I enter now. This is a day of silence and of trust. It is a special time of promise in your calendar of days. It is a time heaven has set apart to shine upon and cast a timeless light upon this day when echoes of eternity are heard. This day is holy, for it ushers in a new experience, a different kind of feeling and awareness. You have spent long days and nights in celebrating death. Today you learn to feel the joy of life. This is another crucial turning point in the curriculum. We add a new dimension now, a fresh experience that sheds a light on all that we have learned already and prepares us for what we have yet to learn. It brings us to the door where learning ceases, and we catch a glimpse of what lies past the highest reaches it can possibly attain. It leaves us here an instant, and we go beyond it, sure of our direction and our only goal. Today it will be given you to feel a touch of heaven, though you will return to paths of learning. Yet you have come far enough along the way to alter time sufficiently to rise above its laws and to walk into eternity a while. This you will learn to do increasingly as every lesson, faithfully rehearsed, brings you more swiftly to this holy place and leaves you for a moment to yourself. She will direct your practicing today, for what you ask for now is what she wills. And, having joined your will with hers this day, what you are asking must be given you. Nothing is needed but today's idea to light your mind and let it rest in still anticipation and in quiet joy, wherein you quickly leave the world behind. From this day forth, your ministry takes on a genuine devotion and a glow that travels from your fingertips to those you touch and blesses those you look upon. A vision reaches everyone you meet and everyone you think of or who thinks of you, for your experience today will so transform your mind that it becomes the touchstone for the holy thoughts of God. Your body will be sanctified today, its only purpose being now to bring the vision of what you experience this day to light the world. We cannot give experience like this directly, yet it leaves a vision in our eyes, which we can offer everyone, that she may come the sooner to the same experience in which the world is quietly forgot and heaven is remembered for a while. All this experience increases, and all goals but this become of little worth. The world to which you will return becomes a little closer to the end of time, a little more like heaven in its ways, a little nearer its deliverance. And you who will bring it light will come to see the light more sure, the vision more distinct. The time will come when you will not return in the same form in which you now appear, for you will have no need of it. Yet now it has a purpose, and will serve it well. Today we will embark upon a course you have not dreamed of, but the Holy One, the giver of the happy dreams of life, translator of perception into truth, the holy guide to heaven given you, has dreamed for you this journey which you make and start today with the experience this day holds out to you to be your own. Into Christ's presence will we enter now, serenely unaware of everything except her shining face and perfect love. The vision of her face will stay with you, but there will be an instant which transcends all vision, even this, the holiest. This you will never teach, for you attained it not through learning. Yet the vision speaks of your remembrance of what you knew that instant, and will surely know again. This seems to echo the process spoken of where, through forgiveness, we attain paradise, the real world. But the last step, the step into heaven, is one that God takes herself. It's one that we cannot take. And we see that echoed here in this experience, where we give ourselves over to love. We let ourselves let go of the past and future, let go of all grievances, all meaningless thoughts associated with the illusion. And we let ourselves experience peace and love, and it speaks of this instant where something comes to us, revelation, and the Course defines revelation as the communication of God to us, and it is just for us to receive it and listen. It is not something we have any control over. It's not something that we attain to by learning, but when we're still enough, we are able to receive it. It is always shining. It is always there waiting to gift itself to us. And we are simply putting ourselves in a place where we can be near enough that it comes. Yeah, it's like a little mini version of our journey back home, the holy instant. May you have a beautiful experience with it. Happy practicing.